Do you struggle with consistency as a creator? In this episode, I'm going to share 3 reasons why I think that this may be so for you, and it's not the reasons that you think. Welcome to Inside the Creator, a place to be for mindset, emotional wellness, and self discovery for the creator in you so that you can create consistently, confidently, and for profit. I'm April Terrell, and thank you for rocking with me. Let's get into the 3 reasons. All right, so reason number 1, it was a shit show from the word go. By this, I mean that from the beginning, it wasn't something that you wanted to do in the first place. You did it because it sounded good, it was a good opportunity, your friends were doing it. I don't know, it just sounded exotic, right? But from the beginning, when you decided to work on the project or do it with somebody, it was never in your interest. It was just something to do. And you're going to find it hard to be consistent at something that you don't care about. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And this comes up when you do things just for the money. And that is really big coming from me. We're going to circle back. To be somebody, right? To be somebody important, to impress people, to, out of anger and revenge, I'll show them. And because you have to or need to. And again, gonna circle back to that one. Let's start at the top with money. One thing that I noticed that when I started to look at my money mindset versus creativity and things like that, everything just got crashed. Everything crashed into each other. Because I got bills, right? I have kids. I have 5 children. I can't just be doing stuff to just be doing stuff. So, but now you're talking about your creations also providing a life for you, which that's what this channel is about, providing freedom for you, providing legacy for your family. And again, I struggled with it because if I would look at something and I'm like, oh, I want to make that. I want to see about, creating that. I would immediately look at, well, how can this be profitable? Immediately. Like not even like on Wednesday, not after I did it for like a month. No, like now. How can I see where's the money in this? And if I can't see the money in it, I'm not gonna do it. The problem with that is that number one, I don't know if it was money in it or not. These are my assumptions. And number 2, if you're looking online anywhere, if you're looking on TikTok, if you're looking on Instagram, it's someone who gives massages through Zoom and charges hundreds of dollars for it. So I'm pretty sure if I would have went along with the things that I felt, that had a desire to create, that at some point I could have made it into a profitable endeavor, and it would have been something I was passionate about, and it would have been profitable. But at the time, I stopped because of the money part. And that's what I mean by you're only doing it for the money. And it's not really sustainable. Also, if you figure, or like say you're doing it just for the money and you come to a point where it's not making any money. You're passionate about it, it's fun, but you're not making any money from it, you're going to give up on it, right? So when money is involved in the creation process, I just want to say things get messy. And I'm still in that place where I am, I create for profit. I create to make money, right? But I also want to like what I do. Like I have been working in corporate for 15 years. I don't want to do that. I don't care how much they pay me. They could pay me $250,000 a year. They can keep it. I don't want it. Right? Like I don't want to wake up and do anything that I don't want to do. So and this being somebody, trying to be somebody, Um, and the be somebody, right? This trying to get validation from other people and always want, trying to get likes and clicks and please like me, please want me, please. It's just not sustainable. It's not sustainable and it's not healthy, right? You should be doing something because you like it, because it's good for you and it feels good for you to be doing it. So that's also a reason that that consistency is hard, because you are trying to get other people to become emotionally invested or invested in any way for it. And it a lot of the times, man, no one's paying attention to nobody because everybody's thinking about themselves. So you're going to give up. You're not going to be consistent with creating that thing because you're just doing it because you're trying to get people to like you. And yeah. Mm-mm. And then it's the anger part, the revenge, right? This is a fun one for me because my moon is in Aries. My sun sign is Taurus, so my moon is in Aries. So this one is fun. I have done a lot of things because I was angry, right? It came from a place of vengeance. And um, I I did get to the thing. I did do the thing. It was enough. It did fuel me to get what I needed to get done. But I fizzled out after a while. After a while, it was like one thing that I realized is that I chose things that I didn't want to choose just because of vengeance, right? Like I went into things and I'm like, this is gonna get me what I want, this six figures or whatever. And but it wasn't sustainable for me to keep that energy up, to keep that thing going, because number one, I didn't like the thing, and then the energy again is just toxic, and it was making me miserable. It was just too heavy. So even using anger or using negative emotions to drive the things that you do or drive the things that you create is gonna work up to a point, because now that you've gotten a thing, you're probably going to fizzle out. You're probably going to be very, very exhausted trying to uphold this thing because you were mad that one time. So and then another one that kind of ties to money, I feel like, is the because you have to or because you need to. And I have seen a lot of creators, a lot of people who they do the things they need. They do the things they're doing or create what they're creating, making what they're making because right now they just need to do it because like they are losing the house, the car, the kids. Like it's bad, right? And they just this out of necessity. So a lot of things have been created out of necessity. But again, another thing about doing it because you have to, again, the motivation is I'm just doing this because this is something that I have to do because I need to do this. Not, I think this is dope and I really want to do this. I really want to see this come to life. I really want to see other people use this or experience this or whatever. Two different energies. Like one is desperate energy, right? And one is sharing abundant energy. It's the every freely, right? That's in Genesis in the Bible. It's fun, it's light, right? It's not this I gotta, because I gotta do it. And again, you can get things done when your back is against the wall. Yes, not sustainable though. I would not suggest living a life where your back is always against the wall and that is always your motivation for doing anything that you're doing, because again, it's not sustainable. And the reason why you wouldn't be consistent even with something like that is because of burnout, right? Because if you're pushing and pulling at some point, you're going to be burnt all the way out just trying to create a thing, make a thing. So that was number two. Number two was a lot. Number three, you don't have a powerful enough why. And I'm saying that in a way of, a lot of us have these great whys. Like as a mom, right? A lot of my children have been the impetus of why I've done some things. They have been my motivation, and it was cool. It was cute. And I feel like a lot of people, they are motivated by their family and stuff like that. And part of me is, I can say part of me is, but I feel like my whys for me have to be painful. They just have to be painful. And painful is knowing that I'm going to leave this earth one day. That's painful. And that's a good reason why. Another good reason why is kind of tied to that with, you don't have all the time in the world. Time is running out. That is scary, right? It's scary to think that I have the time right now and I'm wasting the time, right? So that is, that 20, 30, 40 years could pass and I've done nothing with the time. And now at that age, I'm 70, 80, and I'm regretting. I'm thinking back to these times where I had opportunities to do things that excited me, do things that, that kind of just got me going and just helped me to enjoy experiencing life more. And I just didn't do it. That's just scary for me, right? So those are my whys. And another big why is that I've experienced, not sure if you've experienced it, but when you have a desire to create something, make something, whether it's a business, a thing, a book, or whatever, one thing about that thing, it's just never going to let you stop. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be trying to be birthed and come through you. And it, for me, is like torment, right? You have to do this thing because this thing needs you to do it. And that's a why for me. And again, some of you all may be motivated by, nice frilly things like children and, to take care of your family. And I promise you that's on the list. But at the top of the list, and it's the fact is those things that I mentioned before. It's those things that are inevitable and are going to happen. And I don't want to have a unlived, unexamined life. And with that said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please please subscribe. This is, I think, the second or third video in this official movement of creation. And keep making stuff, keep creating stuff. And my email is in the about info, I believe. And just reach out to me and tell me what you're making and what your struggles are around creating what you want to create and making what you want to make. Thank you so much. Bye.